Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Girls Interrupted. Thank you so much for listening to our show, and please remember to follow us on all of our social media, which can be found in the description box below. If you like what you hear, we really need your help. Please remember to comment, review, share, and subscribe to our show. That would really help us a lot with getting our feet off the ground. Okay, enough of all that. Let's talk movies. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Girls Interrupted. This is Shannon here solo this week. Our girl Annie is out there handling some business. We miss her so much, We wish she was here with us. But we're going to keep it going and bring some more content to you. Today we're reviewing the movie Assassination, which just came out 2018. It actually came out on my birthday, September 21st, 2018. We didn't give you guys a review last week, so we're coming back with Assassination Nation. It's supposed to be Heathers meets The Purge meets Kill Bill, which I'm here for. I'm excited about. If you listen to our last episode about Heathers, you know that we're iffy about people remaking it because it's so sensitive, and I don't know, I'm just not in the mood to watch teenagers hurt each other. Well, not in a way that is so real to what we already deal with every day, like the tragedy of gun violence in schools is just a little too much for me to enjoy in my escapism. So, but I'm glad that this movie shies away from that, and I would say it's not too close to Heathers. It's kind of out there in a lane of its own, but I can definitely see some elements of it and a lot of The Purge and flashes of Kill Bill. Awesome. So, this movie was produced by Neon Cinema, Refinery 29, which I thought was a furniture website, but I guess I'm wrong. Or I thought it was like a blog or something, like a hip BuzzFeed, but I guess I'm wrong. I don't know. But yeah, they're producing movies. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 66%, which I guess is high for a female-fronted movie on Rotten Tomatoes. Starring Bella Thorne, Bill Skarsgard, sexy Pennywise, oh yeah. Cody Christian, Abra, Suki Waterhouse, Harry Neff, Maud Apatow, Anika, Noni, Rose, and the woman who I thought was Aunt Becky from Full House, but is not. She is in Law and Order: Criminal Intent. Her name is... She is not Aunt Becky. Catherine Irby. I don't have anything for the budget, but the box office returned $1.2 million. Like I said, it came out September 21st, so last week. This is a fresh movie for you guys. We never do this. And it previewed at Sundance January 21st. So, while I was watching the previews, Jonah Hill's Mid-90s came on, and I'm excited about it. But I have questions about Jonah Hill's upbringing because this is not who he presented to me. You know, but it looks really cool. It looks very like kids meets like Larry Clark vibe. So like very 90s unscripted kids just running amok out there. Salem, Massachusetts. And it starts off with trigger warnings. Very literally trigger warnings. And on one hand, it's warning you about what's going to happen, and on another hand, it's kind of making fun of how we use trigger warnings in today. I don't know. It seems very 2018 in good ways. I like it. I'm okay with it. Before we get into it, this movie was good. I enjoyed the movie a lot. Really crazy cinematography. I recommend you go watch it before you listen to this because I'm going to spoil it. But yeah, really sick cinematography and good story. Maybe needed a little tweaking in parts. Okay, let's just say that. So, Salem, Massachusetts. So obviously we're thinking Salem witch trials. Okay, so it starts off with a voiceover. You know I don't like that, but it goes, this is the story of how the town of Salem lost its motherfucking mind. So they're in the suburbs, and we get from the voiceover that the town turns on 4 teenage girls and wants to kill them. So that's what's already in our mind before we even start. And I mean, we're starting off this movie, parts of it, most of it looks like a music video. Honestly, it's like kids dressed really well, partying, and I like the way it looks. But in some points, like the 4 main girls, they're almost too cool. Like they're really cool and like stylish, but we never really like delve into their personalities as much as I wanted to. Like I want to know more about these characters. And so I feel a little bit distant from them. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say for right now. So the trigger warnings start off, and the trigger warnings are in patriotic colors, right? So, or French colors, depending on how you're looking at that. And they are, you know, they touch on toxic masculinity, homophobia, transphobia, just like very on topic words, buzzwords almost, that, you know, we're talking about right now. So it's good that this movie is addressing that. And I don't know. I just, yeah. So I wrote down that it's like very choppy delivery because it kind of is rushing around in the beginning, which I'll go with it. It's cool. So Lily is our main character, and she is played by Odessa Young, who is an Australian actress. And I'll say her accent was pretty good because usually I can kind of tell, like, when, especially like when Emma Watson does it, she's her British slips out, but Odessa Young's Australian does not slip out. It doesn't. Somehow the Australians are usually better at doing an American accent than the British are. Yeah, go with that. So Lily's visiting a young girl, and I wasn't sure what was going on, but this little girl is really excited to see her, and I was guessing at this point that it was someone that she babysat. So she's saying hi to this little girl, and then she goes across the street to her best friend's house because her best friend lives across from this house where she used to babysit. So her friend's house, their friend is Abra, and she is in real life, the actress is a pop singer, but Abra's character is called M, and this wasn't really explained very well, but I'm guessing by how the ending was, I'm guessing that Suki Waterhouse's character, whose name is Sarah, that's the blonde best friend with the short hair, I'm guessing that Sarah and M live together because later on in the movie they show their bedroom and there's 2 beds back to back, and I think they live in the same house. I don't know, but Abra's African American, Suki's white. Anika Noni Rose is Abra's mom, I'm guessing. I don't know, but yes, Anika. Anika is with some guy on the couch, and he's pervy. That's all you need to know. So this movie. Okay, so now we've got 4 girl best friends together because we've got M, Sarah, Lily, and Bex. So Bex is she's a trans character. She's a trans actress. Her name is Harry Neff, and she's also a trans character in the movie. And right off the bat, I like it. Right? We hardly see this dynamic at all. Right? We've got minorities and LGBT represented. I mean, I guess, and even if it's some small way. But I mean, I also do like that Bex's character is really she's giving a lot of time on screen, more so than Em and Sarah. So, take that as you will. So we got 4 girl best friends, and they're very sexual. They're like super sexualized teens. Like I can tell that a man's behind the camera, a man wrote it. I can just, by the way the conversation's going, not that it's not natural, I guess, it's just the lens is very focused on sexualizing them, and I'm going to keep it pushing. So, then there's like overlay of like teen Snapchat partying videos, and the camera does something pretty cool because it splits it like tri split, so there's like 3 different videos going on at once, and sometimes the videos will link up and then they'll go back to and it'd be a cool music video, an hour and a half music video, all I'm saying. So they are partying. There's a teen, and he hacks the mayor's private fetish files on his internet. So I'm guessing I guess somewhere they had explained that he's a homophobic, I'm guessing transphobic mayor, bigoted mayor, right? He's the mayor of Salem, Massachusetts. But somebody hacks his private files, a teenager, and spreads them to the whole high school. So now everybody knows that he cross-dresses and sleeps with men, I guess was the point of that. And so, his dirty laundry is out there for everybody. And then we get Bill Skarsgard at the party, and he looks good. Oh yeah, Pennywise. I can't stop thinking about how good he looked in It. Okay, It 2 is coming out, and I'm excited. I should not be that attracted to a clown, but I am. His makeup was everything. Yes. So Bex, the trans character, is hooking up with a guy, and after they hook up, he's like weird about it, and he doesn't want her to tell anyone. So there's that, and I'm conflicted about it. Like, I'm happy that we're seeing trans stories on screen. I just wish it was in happier conditions, but I guess that's not the scope of this movie. And I don't know. I guess we're making baby steps because, God, I don't know. Baby steps. Because I actually don't know a lot of movies where trans characters get to have a sexual sexual scene on camera that isn't like shied away from. I don't know. I'm happy about it, but sad that it's a sad story for her and not, like a love story. Like, I don't know. But yeah, we're getting there. So Lily is texting somebody named Daddy in her phone with like a heart emoji, which gross. Okay. Oh, the styling was awesome. So she's like wearing like this slip dress, and she's got like these black platform shoes, and there's like fur coats at this party, even though I'm sure it's like August or September. And there's like fishtail braids, like septum rings. There's like Abra's character is wearing this nameplate that says feminist, which maybe it's a little on the nose, but I like it. There's chokers. It's like Tumblr threw up all over this movie, and maybe that's gonna super date it. Like, maybe in 10 years we're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe we dressed like that. But I think it looks cool for right now. It looks very the whole like quartet of girls hanging out and like being really, I hate to say cool, but like risque or whatever, and like living this life on the edge of crime. Well, I mean, I guess they're not at crime yet, but like this whole partying quartet, this age, 4 girls, is very reminiscent to me of Spring Breakers and like that dynamic they were trying to do. And I guess kind of what they were trying to do with Heathers, but those girls didn't all like each other, so I guess it doesn't really work. So it looks like a music video. Lily is fighting with Bill, because of Daddy. I'm confused about what I wrote. So I guess he knows about Daddy at this point. La la la. So the blonde and yeah. Em and Sarah are dancing. The blonde and Abra, as I was calling them, because at this point I didn't know their name when I was taking notes. But yeah, they're dancing, and right after that is when Bex's man that she hooked up with gets weird. So that was that. I wish it was happy circumstances is what I wrote. So we're driving to school in the next shot, and I loved what the blonde girl, Sarah, I mean, at this point she has not spoken really. She has not had any lines. Abra has barely said anything that, stands out. And so it's really just Lily and Bex who have been standing, those are the ones I had a grasp on as a character at this point. Like, Lily is our main. She's texting a guy named Daddy. She's dating Bill Skarsgard, jealous. And Bex just hooked up with this guy who is ashamed of her, essentially. So those I have a solid grasp on. Em and Sarah live together with Anika, Noni, Rose. I don't know what we know about them. But anyways, Sarah, the blonde one, has on the best outfit in this next scene because she has like a red beret and like a French sailor outfit, and like it has like this. I used to have a shirt like this too. Actually, it has this sailor capelet. I'm dead. So they get out of the car, right? They're stomping down the hallways. Mean girls, but like 2018 stylish Tumblr, like they look rad. Even though I don't know who they are yet, like as characters. Like, it's already been about 15 minutes with them and I still don't really know. They're cool, they party, okay, but like, I guess like we want cool characters to watch on TV, but they can't be so cool that they're unrelatable to, like, they need to have some flaws that we can grasp onto, because right now I just know that they're hot and they hang out. Like, I don't, whatever. So Bex sees her fuckboy and she's like, it's amazing. This is a great line. It's amazing how someone so inconsequential can make you feel so inconsequential. I'm sorry, I ruined it. It's amazing how someone so inconsequential can make you feel so inconsequential. And wow, bars, that's really true. And I hate it. Yeah, so Lily has to go to the principal's office, and the principal is Coleman Domingo. I looked him up. He did a lot of stage work. He's has a lot of awards. He's a good man, right? He's done a lot of acting. So Lily's in the principal's office, and she's in trouble for these incredible drawings of naked women masturbating. But her talent is there. We can see it. And she had said she's in trouble. She drew this for art class. Her assignment was to draw from life. And so she goes on this rant about how, yes, this is explicit, but this is life, because when I wasn't really gathering the point she was trying to make. Like, it was pointy, but I didn't gather the point, if that makes sense. Like, she's like, I relate to this because, women try so hard to give nudes to guys, and like, you're taking like 1,000 pictures, and like, there'll be a shadow here, or your nipple will look weird here, and you have to like keep blah 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 till you find the perfect nude, and then you send it to a guy and he'll just be like LOL, and then then you feel like shit. I don't know. That's what she said. And so her point was, the point was supposed to be like this deep thing about just like some kind of commentary on teen life. I don't know, teen nudes. I don't know what the point was, but the principal is like, what, blah blah, you're really talented, but this is fucking school and you can't draw naked women, okay? Like, you're almost to college, chill out for a year. So that's essentially what he was telling her. And he gives her like a pep talk and, just tone it down, sweetie. We're, we're in public school. So then after this, she goes to the bathroom to take nudes to show to to show to her to daddy, whoever daddy is. And the mayor wants to the mayor, next scene, the mayor wants to know who hacked him, and he hates the internet, blah blah. And this is when the movie gets a little Black Mirror-esque, especially that first episode with the pig and all. So he is going to a press conference. I don't know. He's going to a room to be yelled at by the townspeople, essentially. So he walks out. He's on stage. It's a back shot. If that makes sense. We see the back of his head and kind of lights. We can't really see the crowd, but we hear them, and they're just like boo. And so they're upset with him. They're upset with him because he cross-dresses. I don't know. But he freaks out. He shoots himself in the head. And the next scene, the teens have turned him into a meme, a YouTube meme. Kids are not shit. So the girls are in the pool, and interesting commentary from Bex, because here's this mayor who killed himself because he was dealing with repressed something, like, I don't know if it's homosexuality, repressed something that may be on the queer spectrum. I don't know. And the friends are kind of treating her like she's supposed to be this spokesperson for all things queer, I guess, and like supposed to like stick up for him, but she's like, fuck him. He wouldn't have mourned for me if I killed myself. People like me kill themselves all the time. And I'm on Bex's side. Like, she makes a lot of sense. And so the principal and I guess police are looking at the school for the student hacker, because I guess it's a big deal. I don't know why though. I mean, is it illegal to hack? I guess it's illegal to hacker. And the principal gets a phone call, and it's the superintendent, and she's like, they have everything. And then there's like this drawn out shot of him, and this shot could have been so much better if it was like a foot lower. Like, it was a little too high. I don't know what it was about it, because it was like shaky, but it's like they're drawing out from his face across the hallway, and then there's kids coming out of class, so you just see him in the background now, and it's going and going and going. But it was just too high. I don't know. It made it look a little bit, I don't know if cheaper is the word, because I'm sure it would have cost the same to do it lower, but it just would have looked better and a foot lower. And this is coming from someone who loved the shots of this movie. Just my 2 cents. And I don't do shit with cameras, so that's my 2 cents. So blah, blah, blah. So now the whole town is talking about what they found on the principal's computer. And this is like kind of, I like the way they talked about, I like the showing that we got to know the principal a little bit better. We see that he's not just this black and white bad guy like we did with the mayor. Like the mayor, I guess we're supposed to get like, oh, he is against this, but secretly he does this, right? But with the principal, we kind of bonded with him. We saw him try to help our heroine or whatever. But now we're getting that, I think the way that they're showing this, like someone hacking your private files is like saying like anybody can be taken down for like normal things that they do. Like they go on about his porn search videos. Now he was searching teen porn or something like that, and he does work at a school, so that is kind of creepy. But it's also creepy that they make teen porn or porn that's supposed to depict teens, but then again, those girls are 18, right? So at least they're safe. And I don't know. At least they're of age. That's a gray area. So he, they dox him. They dox him, right? That's the word we're using. They dox him for his porn search videos, and he like spread it everywhere. They spread text about his wife's miscarriage. Something about his dad. I didn't really get something about some drama with his dad. I didn't really hear that. And then like nude photos of his young daughter, which I was like, oh my God. But then later on they talked about it and she was just in the bathtub. And then, I mean, I'll skip ahead, but it's right here. And this is where I thought it was very Heather's. Lily goes home and her parents are very disturbed by, the news about the death. Did you hear? Did you hear? And this kind of goes with like how you're building like this hive mind, right? Like you hear something and it's already been tainted by someone else's point of view, but you just run with it because they've said it, and now everybody has this point of view against someone, saying you've already convicted someone because of what if someone else said. And I mean, I guess that goes back to the Salem witch trials, right? We that was super on the nose. Salem, we're in Salem. So Lily's parents are very disturbed, and this reminded me of Heather's because there's that running scene that we keep coming back to with Winona Ryder with Veronica and her parents, and how they're always there and they're always kind of the neutral. And then there's that scene where they're finally like reacting to what everyone's been saying on the TV about teen suicide, and they're just so they're so confused about teenagers that day, right? Because teenagers of the 80s, because of what the TV has been telling them. They're telling them, that teenagers kill themselves, blah, 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 and they're crazy. And now in this world, in Salem, they've already convicted our principal because of what he had on his computer, on his private files that he wasn't sharing with anyone. So they're upset. The parents are upset about the nude photos of his daughter, right? And they're like, we got to get him out of there. He is a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. But Lily makes a point that it's a point, right? It's pointy is what I'm going to keep saying. It's pointy. I don't know if it's all the way formed, but nudity is not inherently sexual. And then she's like, there's a baby photo of me where I'm naked. Is that wrong? And she said it and it's there. You can agree with it or not. I don't know. I'm not the one. I didn't see the pictures. I don't know. But it's, it makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you think. So the anonymous hacker says they are, this is where I was like, Lily's mom. This is where I thought she was Aunt Becky from Full House. But she's not. She's not. So the anonymous hacker says they're going for Lily. Because they text her on IM. They said, we're coming for you, or something like that. I don't know. And she's like, who is this? And she taught me how to, first you inspect it, and then you copy the IP address, and then you can check where they are. I didn't know you could do that on a computer. So, the kids are teaching me these days. So she inspects who sends it and she tracks the IP, and it leads to Russia, which makes me think of Facebook and the Trump election. I don't know. So she asks who it is, and they smile, and they tell her to smile. Oh my God, they tell her to smile, and then they turn on her webcam. I screamed. That is so scary. She closes it and whatever. So she says hi to the principal the next day, but he blanks her, and her friends are all around her, and they're like, what do you have to hide? Because she told them that the hacker's coming after her. She's like, what do you have to hide? And then she's like, I've got like a lot of gross porn and like sex, and I talk shit about everybody. And I feel like that's a common answer for that could, in our world, that could be on any normal, quote unquote, normal person's private files. That's probably what they look at. And just knowing that someone can go in and like flip it out and like your whole life is ruined because of shit that you do that everybody else does too. Like, it's just wild. Okay, so it's the 4 girls, and 2 other girls are hanging out with them too. So one of them is Bella Thorne, who I found out is dating Robert Pattinson from Twilight, but I thought he was dating FKA Twigs. I'm heartbroken. And Maud Apatow. So Judd Apatow and Leslie Mann's daughter. So, yeah, Yeah, their names are Reagan. Reagan is Bella Thorne, and Grace is Bella Thorne is from The Babysitter, which is on Netflix and really good. And kind of like it could like go with this movie, like the tone of them, like kind of a happy horror, like a blend between like a horror, a dark comedy. Stupid, a dark comedy is the better word for that. So Grace and Reagan, so they come up later, but so this superintendent tells the principal to resign with Grace, right? She's like, and especially with teaching, with education, like once you mess up, you like it's public perception is really what's going. It doesn't matter if you did it, you didn't. Like we've seen this time and time again. It doesn't matter what you did. It's public perception that rules everything, especially with education, especially with politics. Like it's really it makes a lot of sense that those are the two careers the movie chose to show first, right? Politics, education, and then your normal citizen. So they tell him to resign with Grace. Lily sees a man in a mask in the hallway, and he runs after her, and she screams, and it's Bill Skarsgard. No makeup, no clown outfit, but he was barely in this movie. What is he? He's been in like 2 scenes so far. Yeah, he was barely in this movie. So at this point, I was like, are the characters unlikable? Because I'm yet to find a lot of redeeming qualities. I like that Bex is strong and she says quippy things. So far, she's the only one who's like halfway relatable. I guess because we've seen something that she's fighting against, like transphobia. We see something that she's fighting against. We don't really get a grip on the other 3. I mean, we get a grip on Lily Colson, I guess, because she's our lead. But I just wanted more. Like one of them needs to be really funny. One of them needs to be like nerd. I don't know. I mean, I guess those are like the stereotypes we don't want to repeat. But like they need personality is I guess what I'm trying to say. So now we've got the principal, and it kind of is a replay of the mayor scene, how he's like walking out on the stage to be judged by this audience of faceless people. And he walks to the auditorium and they're just booing, and he tries to set things straight, and he's like, but he's like, I guess he's not resigning is what Wikipedia told me, but when I was watching it I wasn't exactly sure. But he's saying I didn't do this. He's trying to like it makes a lot of sense that this actor does a lot of stage work, because this I could definitely see the training. He's like, I'm a kid from blah blah blah. I guess they're trying to do that like I hate to say like the stereotypical successful black man speech where they're talking about like all the tributes and all the trials and tribulations they've been through to get to the point where they are. But that was kind of the gist of that speech that I was getting. And like as he's giving like this heartwarming, I mean, I guess it's heartwarming. It doesn't really give you a lot of chance to feel that it's heartwarming because of the reaction of the audience. It's overlaid with the kids like partying, and we like kind of transition to that, and also at the same time his house is vandalized, and we like hear his little girl scream. Like I think that's really frightening to think about. So Abra, what is her character's name? M. She says, she's commenting on school shooters, and she says like people just burn out and want to burn down their universe, so they want to like take out the people in their own world, and because they just like lose it one day. And I don't know, that kind of stuck with me. I don't know. So the convo turns somehow into oral sex, and like earlier in the movie Lily told her friends that, Bill Skarsgård does not go down on her. And so Bex brings it up, and she like talks to Pennywise, and he's mad, and like they walk off, and he's like going to talk to Lily about it because she like told her friends, whatever. And then I think Sarah calls Bex a bitch, and Bex is like, I'm not a bitch, I'm a feminist. So you know what? That's why I like Bex, because she has the funny one-liners, and she does, she goes there. So Lily and Billy. Lily and Bill Skarsgård fight. What is his name? His name is Mark in the movie. Lily and Mark fight, and there's a voiceover, and she's like, I lost my virginity to him, and like, he's the first boy who like hurt me that I want to hurt back. I don't know, something along the lines of that. But they're fighting, and he's like saying awful, like he's really shitty. He's saying terrible, like this is where the toxic masculinity is coming in. But his character sucks, man. He's telling her she's, like a whore and like slutty, like slut shaming her to the upteenth degree. And it's like, well, if you thought all this stuff about her, why are you dating her? And he's like, blah blah blah, I would never tell my friends if you never gave me head, and blah, and like, he was awful. And somehow this leads to them hooking up, and like, okay, so they hook up, weird, but he does go down on her, I guess. And there's a text message from daddy or whatever, and it says, I can see you. So then the fucking lights on the house next door light up, and then you're like, oh shit. Well, first I thought it was her stepdad or something, but I was confused. No, it was the dad who had the baby who she babysat for in the beginning. So that guy, his name is Nick Mathers, and he is from fucking Community. So the Community guy, yeah, he is daddy, and he's watching her fuck Bill Skarsgård. So the cops, so the next scene, we're out of there. The cops are interrogating the teen hacker from the beginning of the movie, and he's like super annoying. He's like really cocky, and he's like, I didn't do this, you don't have any proof, basically. And then like their phones start going off, and he's like, apparently like half of Salem just got hacked, and like their phones won't stop buzzing, so shit's going down. And it's exposed that Nick Mathers is exposed. His phone is hacked, right? And there's pictures of Lily, but she's smart-ish, because it's only her from the neck down. So it's like all these like shots of her, bra and underwear or whatever. But so his wife, he says his wife and daughter left him. That's what he says, and we never see the man. But so all of her videos, her sex, how do you say that? SEXTS. Her sexts are exposed. Anika Noni Rose is exposed, and I think they slut shame her too. I kind of glanced past that. Lily is crying, and she's telling everything to Bex under the. I really like when they do shots of like people under covers talking. I don't know, it's very sweet, but they're under the covers, like exposing all their secrets to each other. And she's confiding in her, and this is why we don't have Sarah and Em. Like, we don't get enough, because here we have Bex and Lily bonding. Like, she could have easily bonded with Sarah or with Em. Like, it didn't have to be the way they did it. So the cops are at school. Their presence is there. Reagan, who is Bella Thorne, not FK Twakes, got hacked, and she sent out Grace, who is Maud Apatow. She sent out her nudes, and so she was exposed. And the way that they were doing this scene, they kind of overlapped it with some like fratty bros. I mean, I guess they're in high school and fratty. Some like jockey bros talking about Diamond. And apparently Diamond is the guy who slept with Bex in the beginning, but he was like ashamed because she was trans and like wouldn't let her tell anybody about it. So they overlapped Reagan showing Grace's nudes with these boys saying they're gonna go beat up, I don't know, intimidate Diamond for sleeping with a trans woman. So they overlaid that, and somehow I got it crossed. I thought that Grace was Diamond's girlfriend or something, and that Reagan had exposed it. Because next thing we know, Grace has a bat, and this is a really sick scene because it's Reagan is like cheerleading, but the shots are awesome. They're like aerial shots. And it's just so dark. It looks very Tragedy Girls. It's very dark in there, and it's dark in that gym. They are saving money on the lights. But it's like neon, of course, because I love neon, and it looks visually stimulating. Lily's voiceover, nothing unites us like a good tragedy. Like, there's so much going on. So Diamond has not been to school in like 2 days. The boys are being transphobic as fuck, and they're like, he did that, and we gotta show him a lesson or whatever. I don't know why. Like, Diamond is minding his business. You should mind yours. Lily has on the pink docs that I want. Like, they're like low. Yeah, whatever. So Grace has the bat at cheerleader practice, and it's still going on. There's an awesome shot of her like with her bat, and then like the camera flips, and like so that you see her, and like behind her is the American flag, but now it's upside down because the camera is upside down. Duh. And it looks very The Purge. I see where we're going with here. I see us. And it's called Assassination Nation. That might have been a touch much. Like, it's not. Is this story that American? I don't know. So Billy, okay, and all of this at the same time, Bill Skarsgard, his name is Billy. Bill Skarsgard, Lily walks up to him in the pink docs that I want. Lily walks up to him, and Bill says, "Do you have a birthmark on your back?" Dun dun dun. And there are 2 boys behind her, flanking her, and she doesn't see them. So scary, but. Then it flashes back to the gym. Grace knocks Reagan out and like walks off. So, I mean, Reagan could have lived. I don't know. I guess you get hit with a bat in the head and you're out. You die. But that's why it doesn't make sense. Like, she killed her for exposing her nudes. Like, is that big of a deal? I feel like that happens every day, B. I don't know. But anyways, the boys grab the 2 boys like flanking her. They grab Lily and they like knock her to the floor, and Bill is talking about the leak, about is she the guy in the guy from Community's leaked pictures or whatever, and he's showing her the photos. He's like, is this you? This, you have a mole on your back, blah blah blah. And he wants her to show her his back, and the boys flip her, and they like pull up her it's terrible. They pull up her shirt to see her if she has a mole. Terrible. And he takes pictures of her, and he's like, I'm gonna spread this to everybody. I'm gonna let them know that this was you in the pictures. Like, terrible. So he's like gonna expose her, and he spits like her. And, like, her address ends up online. Like, so this is, like, that's doxing. That's what we call doxing, right? That is doxing. So just misogyny is present. Misogyny is here. It's in the room. So Grace is arrested with bloody hands and handcuffs. And kids everywhere are applauding. Although, applauding her for killing a girl for showing... And it's not even in defense of Reagan or Bella Thorne. It wasn't even her fault. Like, she sent the nudes to her own boyfriend, talking about, look what Grace sent me, and then Bella was exposed, was hacked. So how is that Bella's fault? Like, I feel like Grace should turn her energy towards the hacker. I am lost with that storyline. But Lily, her phone is blowing up, but she's actually getting like followers and stuff. She could have like used this platform for something, but she's like growing in popularity online. But of course she's like traumatized because, I don't know, because she broke up a family. I don't know. So she comes home and the parents are trying to intervene, trying to have an intervention. And I wrote down Lily's camel toe because her shorts are very... whatever, we're gonna go on. So her mom like makes her say if it was her in these pictures or not. and she doesn't want to, of course. And then she's like, yes, it was me. And her mom, this is wild. Her mom drags her by her feet out of the house, from her room to the porch. Drags her out. Like, you know, I don't know. That's just not the home I was, whatever. So, and meanwhile, all this, her brother's drinking a Slurpee, watching her. So she's like, this just gets worse and worse for her. How many more pages do I have? God, I have like 3 more pages of like misery for this character, and I'm so sorry. So she's walking down the street, and there's like a car of guys, 2 guys probably, and they're like, you know, we saw your videos, blah blah blah. He says something like, nobody's gonna want you. You should just take what you can get. And then like the camera flashes that he has a knife in his hand. Like, so it gets rapey fast. And she starts running, and then he gets out and chases her, and she's like hiding behind this house, and this is weird. She knocks him out with a shovel, and his face is super bloody, and I think we're supposed to assume that he's dead. But then behind him, you would think that it would be the driver of the car, right? But it was a kid holding a frog. You see, this is where the movie starts to lose me. Well, no, the movie had me, even though it kept doing weird things, but later on it lost me, so I'll keep it going. So it's also getting a lot of Black Mirror. It's getting very Black Mirror here. It's getting very Purge. This is like Black Mirror, that episode where everybody is filming that woman, White Bear, I think is the episode, that woman who like wakes up in this simulation every day where people like film her because she killed a little girl, and this is her punishment, and like they erase her memory every day. That was my favorite episode. So, or was it? No, I like the Tinder episode a lot too, and of course the gay episode. Yeah. So, but it's very Black Mirror because like everyone's shit is in the air, and people start wearing masks in the daylight to like hide from the shit that they did, I guess, that everyone knows about now. Although, wouldn't you know, like, your body shape? And like, I know I couldn't hide for very long. Anyway, so at night, there's a meetup of the masks, and like, they're like, you know, make America anonymous again, I guess is what they're trying to do. Like, they're weaponized, they're anonymous, they're pissed. They said, you know, if the government can't establish law and order, we will, blah, blah, blah. And they start chanting, like, take Salem back, take Salem back. So they get the kid who they thought was a teen hacker, and they kidnap him, and they kidnap him, and they tape him up, and he's in a bathtub, and they start waterboarding him and asking him, you know, did you do this? Like, don't lie. And he finally says, you know, somebody sent it to me. I didn't do it, but I traced it back to Lily's house. So then he has to like go on video and talk about how Lily did it or whatever. And like, so now everyone has a target on Lily's back. And she's like, why would he lie? Blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Lily has been at Anika Noni Rose's house. And she's upstairs with Em and Sarah, and they're watching this super cool Japanese movie. I had to look it up. Delinquent Girl Boss, Worthless to Confess, 1970. It looks incredible. All the girls in that movie are wearing red, and I guess they're like a girl. I hate to say girl gang, but I guess they're like a girl gang, and they kick ass. So all the girls, the 4 girls, are at Anika Noni Rose's house, and they're talking about how like they want to make like they want to make revenge movies when they grow up, but they want to be like the women are in charge. I guess like feminist revenge movies that like the men are punished, which, you know, okay. But they're wearing these like matching red vinyl jackets, and I just want a friend group like that where we can all wear matching somethings, hopefully vinyl. And Marty uploads his confession video, and they see it, and so now they're like, oh shit, you know, everyone's coming after us. And Im is like, did mom set the alarm? And so she goes to check, and this is like a 4 or 5 minute scene. The shots are sick because it's like they're in a dollhouse, because we're watching the camera from outside of the house, so we're just following them through these windows. It's this adorable vintage house. I'm obsessed. So we're following her, of course, down the stairs, and she's setting the alarm. The alarm won't let her set it because it says like zone 5 is open or something like that. So she goes back to her mom, and she's like, "Mom, what's zone 5?" And then the mom's like, the glass door is open. So she goes down to the glass door, she closes it. We see that someone with a mask is inside. Like, this scene is this is film. This is film. So we see that one of the guys in the mask is inside. We also see another guy with a mask trying to get inside through a window. But the guy grabs her, and he's got a gun, and he like hits her against the wall. But I guess it's quiet, no one hears her, and they're like hiding behind this curtain. So then Sarah goes downstairs, and she tries to set the alarm, and it says like zone 6 is open. So of course she goes and she finds the window, and she closes the window, which was already closed before, so you know that somebody's inside. And then she like pauses to like wash her hands, and then like a guy with a gun comes from behind the shower, and like he gets her, and then oh yeah, he grabs her, and he's got her. And then there's a guy on the second floor, but he's outside of the house, and he's just walking around. And then we pan back to the room, and it looks like Heather Chandler's room, so I can see more Heathers here. And it's just like very 80s, big vanity. I don't know, Heather Chandler. So the men with masks are just showing up in like heaps, and like a van shows up. Dudes with ropes, like they're ready to do terrible things. So Bex is calling the cops, right? Yeah, she's calling the cops because she's like, I don't even know how she knew, but she's like, there's people outside. So, and very like anticlimactic, there's people outside. She starts calling the cops. Lily is calling someone. I think it was a community guy, daddy or whatever, to tell her that she didn't do this. She opens the glass doors, because how like when you're on the phone, you're just like absentmindedly doing stuff. She's just like, how you pace. So she opens the glass door, and she's walking around. She walks outside. She walks back in, but she leaves the door open. And then there's a man sneaking up behind her, and then he's shot by Anika Noni Rose, and then Anika Noni Rose shoots another guy. So she took out like 2 or 3 guys, and then she got shot at, and she got hit, and she falls down, but she's still like a little bit alive. But Bex jumps off Bex is awesome. Bex jumps off the second floor, out of the second floor window, and lands like a cat, and she's fine. Anika the Im and Sarah are both like strung up now by those plastic ties. Like it's traumatizing. They're strung up by their arms, like on those plastic ties, and they're just like looking at their mom, who's like can't do anything, and she's like this is a traumatic scene. So Bex is like attacked by this guy he has like a nail gun. Like, this is turning into Saw. I mean, I guess Purge does that too, but he has a nail gun, and he's trying to get her, even though Bex is not the one that she named, or that the hacker named. The hacker named Lily. Why are they coming after all these other girls? So Bex is like fighting this guy. They go into the pool, which looks awesome because now there's nails flying, and they're in water, and they're fighting, and then blood shows up, and you don't know who it's from. And then it turns out Bex is fine, but that dude is dead. And then Anika Noni Rose can walk, and she stands up. Oh my God, she stands up. And then a masked man on the other side of the wall aims to where how tall she is, and he shoots her. I don't know. God, that was sick, but terrible. So Lily's hiding, but her phone keeps going off, and it's really close to her. So they start shooting shots at the phone. but then she's able to leave the phone, and so they're still shooting at the phone while she escapes, and it keeps like going off and off and off, and apparently it's daddy or whatever texting the phone, which that's why I keep my phone on silent. Anyways, so Bex makes it over the wall, and Bex escapes. She's over the wall, and we find out that this cop is leading the riot, and he has Em and Sarah, and they're just like laughing at them and like saying, didn't I tell you I was going to get justice, blah blah blah. So he puts them in his cop car, and I'm guessing the point is to kill them or to keep them, to lure Lily out. I don't know exactly where we're going with that. So she goes over to the babysitter's house because of course he lives next door. How convenient. And why wouldn't they look for her there if they knew that Lily was if they knew that Lily loved the community guy? Why wouldn't they look for it? Stupid. So she goes over there, and she doesn't notice that he had a mask on. So he was going to join this raid, but he takes it off. And they have Em and Sarah, but they don't have Bex or Lily. So they say, Lily, you can hide all you want, but we're going to get you. That's what the cop says, whatever. So she runs. She's at the babysitter's house, and he hides her, and he's like, you can't be here, they can't see you, blah blah. But he takes her upstairs to his daughter's room. Oh, that actually, thinking about that, maybe there is something really creepy about him. I mean, there definitely is, but maybe there's something even extra creepier about him. But he takes her to his daughter's room, and it says like princess above the bed, like it's cringy, and meanwhile, Bex is still running, and like a truck with these creepy flags, like these American flags, are driving right behind her. And she's trying to get into a neighbor's house, but they can't get her in there. And then Nick Mathers comes back to Lily, and he wipes the blood off of her, and he like opens her legs, and she's like, no, I can wipe myself. But he is like forceful and terrible. And he's like, I'll protect you. You're beautiful, kiss me. It gets very rapey really fast because he has we see that he has a giant knife in his hand, and he's growing more violent. Like it's, if you're squeamish, don't watch it. Well, definitely. And then there's an overlay of the girls like being taunted by the cop, and Bex being grabbed. So now Bex is with these group of guys who have her in their truck, and so he pulls out that knife, and he's like, tell the truth. You did this so that I would love you. I don't know what his logic was, but he says that, and then he's like, he said he wants to kiss her, but it's like this overlay of violence, so it's weird. So Bex is with this guy who says, we're gonna kill you first, and then we're gonna kill your friends, and then we're gonna kill Lily. And they've got her like handcuffed like Jesus. And then Diamond shows up. So then we find out, these are his friends, and this is the lesson they're trying to teach him. So these guys are like forcing Diamond to put a noose around her neck, and they're gonna hang her. Which I am triggered. I don't know. This is just anytime there's a noose on screen, and like especially with American flags blowing in the background, like it's just too coded, especially racially for me. Like it's just too. I'm triggered. And Bex is not a white character. Bex is not a black character, but she is a very marginalized group, and it's very traumatizing. I am triggered. So they're putting a noose around her neck, and we go back to Lily, and she's like getting a plan, I guess, in her head. So she's like, do you want to kiss me? Do you want to touch me, daddy, blah, blah, blah. Do you promise to be gentle, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah. And so they kiss, and she like, I couldn't see, but his eye was bloody, and then his tongue, or I thought that she bit his tongue, or maybe she poked his eye, I don't know, but he was bloody. And so then she's able to escape, and she runs into the bathroom to hide, and there's blood everywhere, and she like pulls back she like tries to get into the tub, whatever, there's a body in the tub, so I'm guessing it's his wife. But then when I was thinking, he said his wife and his daughter left him. thank God we did not see a toddler's body, because I can't handle it. So, but I'm assuming he did kill her, because where is she? So that makes me sad. Hang on. Okay, so she MacGyvers a weapon from razors and soap. And it's not like where it wouldn't make sense. Like, the timing does make sense. Like, we see her in real time do it. She's like, she gets a soap, she puts 2 razors in it, she cuts herself, and like he finally busts in, and he tries to stab her, but she slices his throat. Oh, so gross. Incredible scene, but disgusting. And it's like it's a beautiful bloody mess. And she looks like Carrie at the prom, which is one of my favorite horror visuals. Okay, so now we're back to Diamond. So Diamond says he can't do it, and his friends knock him out. So he's unconscious, I guess. And then Bex looks a lot like Winona Ryder here. I wrote that down. I don't know. So they're going to hang her, but Lily has a gun. She has Nick's gun, and they're tying the rope over the lamppost to hang this poor woman. And the cops are announcing through the neighborhood. That one cop is announcing through the neighborhood, anyone with Lily's whereabouts will be rewarded. So they're paying for this teenage girl. I don't know. So Lily finds tons of guns in Nick's room. I don't know. He had a katana. I had to look that up, but it's a big knife. He had a shit ton of, which I guess is a nod to the movie they were watching. But he has a shit ton of armory. So she arms herself, and then she has a mask on, and she's got, of course, this sick vinyl jacket, and the mask is like an American flag bandana. So first Lily saves her 2 friends. She shoots the cop, and he's like, do you even know to hold that? And she shoots him, whatever. Then she frees them, and now they gotta go save Bex in the nick of time, which is, I'm happy they saved Bex. And then they're like in a shootout. I wrote "Now I'm in love" because I did really love this, because now it's like 4 girls in matching red vinyl jackets. I'm never gonna stop saying that. And just like a lot of guns, and just killing terrible men. And this is the movie I signed up for without even knowing that this was the movie. So because remember, we thought that they were killing 4 girls. That's what we heard in the beginning. I didn't know they were talking about themselves. So, they killed the driver because he was trying to like drive the car off, and I guess and she was standing on the car, so that would have hung her because it would have like freed up her feet or whatever. And then they killed the guy holding the rope, so now she's free. And, And then they get in a shootout with the rest of the gang, or I guess they're a gang, a group of guys, fratty guys. The head guy ends up being the only guy left, and he surrenders. Bex walks up, holds the gun to his head, and he apologizes. And he looks like Justin Timberlake. I wrote whatever. So the camera pans to her face, which I thought we were gonna like pan to her face and then like hear a gunshot, but she pulls it off, and they walk off. And I'm glad he didn't like sneak up behind them or something. But yeah, that was the end of him. So they save Diamond, and she's like, thanks for not murdering me. And then Lily, after all this trauma, is still like, not all men. So, it's kind of funny. I don't know. The girls walk home, and there are just endless amount of men in masks. And what I like about it, kind of, is like there are men in masks, but then there are also women in masks, too. So, like, I guess they're, like a very few. So I guess they're, like, trying to say, like, there are women fighting for your demise too. I don't really know them. I won't put too much on that. But yeah, then there's like this hive mind is in effect, right? Because now they're just hyped because they're anonymous and they have weapons. Lily finds time to film a vlog, so she's like, "Girls everywhere, blah blah blah. They're taking me today. They might take you next. I don't know. It's like this call to arms for women, and she's like talking about her story and like how they're going after her, and then like this is where it gets a little preachy. Or I appreciate the attempt, but it's kind of ambitious here because now she's like broadcasting to women everywhere in this town, and they start coming out of their houses to like back them up. So it's like which would be a terrible idea because thousands of people with guns versus 4 girls with guns and a bunch of girls with no guns holding like a cell phone, wearing a hoodie. Like it was just not a smart. And that's where it jumps from. That's where we don't see what happened. So those girls all died. Like what are we supposed to gather from that? What happened? Okay, so then there's that, and then our next scene is them in the police station, but those girls aren't there. It's the parents of Lily, it's her brother, and the cops, and we find out that the brother was the hacker this whole time, and that's why the IP address was linked to Lily's house. So he wasted everybody's time. He nearly got Lily. He got Anika Noni Rose killed. Okay, so yeah. So the brother was the hacker. He's getting a life sentence. That's the end of the movie. And then over the credits, there's a very sad black majorette doing a baton twirl, I guess. A baton twirler. But she like looks creepily sad. But then there's like a black marching band behind her, and they're giving it. But then they're like marching through Salem's destroyed streets. And I appreciate the black marching band, but why couldn't they be in the movie? Because this was a white-ass school, so what school did this marching band come from? Why are they there? Or, like, why? I mean, I want them to be there, but I want them to have speaking roles. Like, what was the point? I don't know. And Bill Skarsgard never got what was coming to him. I'm just left wanting more. I need personality from that other half of the crew. I need Bill Skarsgard to be dead. I need the black marching band to be integrated throughout the movie, speaking. I mean, because we and the song they're playing is Miley Cyrus's "We Can't Stop." The layers, right? We've got appropriation of Miley Cyrus on top of a black marching band that has sort of been appropriated. Well, I guess not because they're there, but why are they? Who was it? Is there an HBCU in Salem? Like, what is going on? Okay, that was the end. That's the end of the movie. So I'm going to give my Girls Interrupted score of the movie. And, of course, it's just me, solo. So we rate our movies. You can look us up online on our website to see our exact ratings. We've rated all our movies that we've done before. But we try to rate them on half on diversity and inclusion, the other half on execution and enjoyability. So I'll go through my little things. So the first one is women in front of the camera and on screen. So I gave it a 7 and women characters. 7 and I gave it a 7.5 because we got women everywhere. Women. This probably, men barely talk to each other in this movie, except for those fratty guys and maybe some of the adults, but men barely talk to each other in this movie. It's all women, but 2 of the main women aren't really that fleshed out. So I gave it a 7.5, which is pretty high. It's pretty high, but yeah, I'm gonna move on. So next was people of color represented on screen. So I gave it a 4 out of 10. We got Anika Noni Rose, of course. We got Coleman Domingo, the principal. We've got Abra, who is one of the best friends. We've got Kelvin Harrison Jr., who I did not talk about, but he was one of the skeevy guys holding down Lily. He was one of Bill Skarsgard's friends. And he's from a movie I love. He's from It Comes at Night, which was horrifying. But really well done. And I haven't seen a lot of people talk about that movie, but he was the main in that movie. But yeah, he didn't talk at all in this movie. He has like a small moment, I guess, on screen, like with his face, but that's it. And then like Danny Ramirez is Diamond, and maybe he's Latinx. I don't know. Ramirez. I'm giving it to him. So I gave it a 4 out of 10 because, that being said, 5 5 people of color, but the one who talks the most is the principal, and he's only in like 20 minutes of the movie. I don't know. All right, then we got LGBT. I gave it a 7 because it's important that we have a trans character. Like, that's really cool, and she's pretty fleshed out. Varied Bodies, I gave it a 0 because everybody's skinny. Women and minorities behind camera, I gave it a 2 because there's a female producer, but that is pretty much all we're working with. Execution, I gave it a 7 because there were scenes I really, really liked, but then there was, it fell off in the end. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Style, 8.5 out of 10 because I liked the cinematography. I liked the clothes. Cast performances, a 6. It was pretty good, but they did pretty well, but I think a couple of times I was drawn out of the moment by stuff. Yeah. So the politics of the movie. So that means, like, is it going to age well? I don't know, because I like I agree with, do I like the politics of the, I like the politics of the movie. I like the politics of their heroine, I suppose, but the actions of the characters are wild. Like, that girl really killed another girl because her nudes were leaked. The mom really disowned the daughter because she was involved with an older man who was most likely manipulating her. Like, it just doesn't add up. So I don't know if this movie is going to age well. So really, I'm rating it too high on that. Gross. His friends to assault his girlfriend because she cheated. Girl for dating their friend. Like, it just doesn't make sense. In a 5. You should go watch it, although I've told you everything that happens. So altogether, that's a 56. So that was our review of, what was this movie called? Of Assassination, which I don't think is a good name. I like that it rhymes, but I don't. It's trying to be some kind of representation of America as a whole, but I don't think that we're all like, they should have played off of Salem. That would have been more cute. Like bitch trials. The Salem bitch trials would have been a much better name. They should have hired me. Yeah, that was us. So please go and look at our website. Check out our Twitter. Rate us 5 stars. We'll be back next week with another movie. Annie, if you're listening, I miss you so much. Please come back soon. We're going to try to keep the content running for you guys, but Annie will be back and she will be amazing. Love you guys so much. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. We'll be back next time with a new pair of movies. In the meantime, please follow, rate, review, subscribe, and share the show. Let us know how you felt about the movies. See you next time.